His hand accepted the moist, tender gland and slid it into his side pocket. Then it fetched up 3 coins from his trousers pocket and laid them onto the rubber prickles. They lay, were read quickly, and quickly slid disc by disc into the till. "Thank you, sir. Another time." A speck of eager fire from Fox Eyes thanked him. He withdrew his gaze after an instant. "No, better not. Another time." "Good morning," he said, moving away. "Good morning, sir." No sign. Gone. What matter? He walked back along Dorset Street, reading gravely. Agendath Netaim, Planters' Company. To purchase waste, sandy tracts from Turkish government and plants with eucalyptus trees. Excellent for shade, fuel, and construction. Orange groves and immense melon fields north of Java. You pay 8 marks, and they plant a dunam of land for you with olives, oranges, almonds, or citrons. Olives cheaper. Oranges need artificial irrigation. Every year you get a sending of the crop. Your name entered for life as owner in the book of the Union. Can pay 10 down and the balance in yearly installments. Bleib True 34, Berlin, W15. Nothing wrong. Still an idea behind it. He looked at the cattle, blurred in silver heat. Silvered, powdered olive trees. Quiet long days. Pruning, ripening. Olives are packed in jars, eh? I have a few left from Andrew's. Molly's spitting them out. Knows the taste of them now. Oranges in tissue paper packed in crates. Citrons, too. Wonder is poor Citron still alive in St. Kevin's Parade. Is that the first time Molly was mentioned? Molly and Citron's basket chair. Wait, I skipped on it. And Mastiansky with the old cither. Pleasant evenings we had then. Molly in Citron's basket chair. Nice to hold. Cool waxen fruit. Hold in the hand. Lift it to the nostrils and smell the perfume. Like that, heavy, sweet, wild perfume. Always the same, year after year. They fetched high prices too, Moisel told me. Arbutus Place, Pleasance Street, pleasant old times. Must be without a flaw, he said. Coming all that way, Spain, Gibraltar, Mediterranean, the Levant. Crates lined up the quayside at Jaffa. Chap ticking them off in a book. Navvies handling them in soiled dungarees. There's what do you call him out of? How do you? Doesn't see. Chap, you know, just to salute, bit of a bore. His back is like that Norwegian captain's. Wonder if I'll meet him today. Watering cart. To provoke the rain. On earth as it is in heaven. Hold on. A cloud began to cover the sun, wholly, slowly, wholly. Gray, far. No, not like that. A barren land, bare waste. Volcanic lake, the Dead Sea. No fish, weedless, sunk deep in the earth. No wind would lift those waves. Gray metal, poisonous foggy waters. Brimstone, they called it, raining down. The cities of the plain, Sodom, Gomorrah, Edom. All dead names. A dead sea and a dead land, gray and old. old now. It bore the oldest, the first race. A bent hag crossed from Cassidy's, clutching a naggin bottle by the neck. The oldest people wandered far away, all over all the earth, captivity to captivity, multiplying, dying, being born everywhere. It lay there now. Now it could bear no more. Dead, an old woman's, the gray sunken cunt of the world, desolation. Gray horror seared his flesh. Folding the page into his pocket, he turned into Eccles Street, hurrying homeward. Cold oils slid along his veins, chilling his blood. Age crusted him with a salt cloak. Well, I am here now. Morning mouth bad images. Got up wrong side of the bed. Must begin again those Sandow's exercises. On the hands down. Blotchy brown brick houses. Number 80 still unlet. Why is that? Valuation is only 28. Towers, Battersby, North, MacArthur. Parlor windows plastered with hills. Plasters on a sore eye. To smell the gentle smoke of tea, fume of the pan. Sizzling butter. Be near her ample bed-warmed flesh. Yes, yes. Quick warm sunlight came running from Berkeley Road, swiftly, in slim sandals, along the brightening footpath. She runs to meet me, a girl with gold hair on the wind. 2 letters and a card lay on high hall floor. He stooped and gathered them. Mrs. Marion Bloom. His quick heart showed at once. Bold hand, Mrs. Marion. Poldy! Entering the bedroom, he half closed his eyes and walked through warm yellow twilight towards her tousled head. Who are the letters for? He looked at them. Mullingar, Millie. A letter for me from Millie, he said carefully, and a card to you. And a letter for you. He laid her card and letter on the twill bedspread near the curve of her knees. Do you want the blind up? Letting the blind up by gentle tugs, halfway his backward eyes saw her glance at the letter and tuck it under her pillow. That do? He asked, turning. She was reading the card, propped up on her elbow. She got the things, she said. He waited till she had laid the card aside and curled herself back slowly with a snug sigh. Hurry up with that tea, she said. I'm parched. The kettle is boiling, he said. But he delayed to clear the chair. Her striped petticoat tossed soiled linen and lifted all in an armful onto the foot of the bed. As he went down the kitchen stairs, she called, Poldy! What? Scald the teapot. On the boil, sure enough, a plume of steam from the spout. He scalded and rinsed out the teapot and put in 4 full spoons of tea, tilting the kettle and then to let water flow in. Having set it to draw, he took off the kettle and crushed the pan flat on the live coals and watched the lump of butter slide and melt. While he unwrapped the kidney, the cat mewed hungrily against him. Give her too much meat, she won't mouse. Say they won't eat pork, kosher. Here. He let the blood-smeared paper fall to her and dropped the kidney amid the sizzling butter sauce. Pepper. He sprinkled it through his fingers, ringwise, from the chipped egg cup. Then he slid open his letter, glancing down the page and over. Thanks, New Tam, Mr. Coughlin, Loaf Owl Picnic. Young student, blazes, Boylan Seaside Girls. The tea was drawn. He filled his own mustache cup. Sham Crown Derby, smiling. Silly Millie's birthday gift. Only 5 she was then. No, wait. 4. I gave her the amberoid necklace she broke. Putting pieces of folded brown paper in the letterbox for her, he smiled, pouring, "Oh, Millie Bloom, you are my darling. You are my looking glass from night to morning. I'd rather have you without a farthing than Katie Keogh with her ass and garden." Poor old Professor Goodwin. Dreadful old case. Still, he was a courteous old chap. Old-fashioned way he used to bow Molly off the platform. And the little mirror in his silk hat. The night Millie brought it into the parlor. "Oh, look what I found in Professor Goodwin's hat." All we laughed. Sex breaking out even then. Pert little piece she was. He prodded a fork into the kidney and slapped it over. Then fitted the teapot on the tray. Its hump bumped as he took it up. Everything on it? Bread and butter? 4, sugar, spoon, her cream. Yes, he carried it upstairs, his thumb hooked in the teapot handle. Nudging the door open, with his knee he carried the tray and set it on the chair by the bedhead. "What a time you were," she said. She set the brasses jingling as she raised herself briskly, an elbow on the pillow. He looked calmly down at her bulk and between her large, soft bubs, sloping within her nightdress like a she-goat's udder. The warmth of her couched body rose on the air, mingling with the fragrance of the tea she poured. A strip of torn envelope peeped from under the dimpled pillow. In the act of going, he stayed to straighten the bedspread. "Who was the letter from?" he asked. Bold hand. "Marion." "Oh, Boylan," she said. "He's bringing the program." "What are you singing?" "La Chidarem with J.C. Doyle," she said, "and Love's Old Sweet Song." Her full lips, drinking, smiled. "Rather stale smell that incense leaves next day, like foul flower water." "Would you like the window open a little?" She doubled a slice of bread into her mouth, asking, "What time is the funeral?" 11, I think, he answered. "I didn't see the paper." Following the pointing of her finger, he took up a leg of her soiled drawers from the bed. "No?" Then a twisted gray garter looped round a stocking. Rumpled, shiny sole. "No, that book. Other stocking. Her petticoat. It must have fell down," she said. He felt here and there. "Voglio e non vorrei. E non vorrei." Wonder if she pronounces that right. Voglio. Not in the bed. Must have slid down. He stooped and lifted the valance. The book, fallen, sprawled against the bulge of the orange-keyed chamber pot. "Show here," she said. "I put a mark in it. There's a word I wanted to ask you." She swallowed a draught of tea, from her cup held by not handled, and having wiped her fingertips smartly on the blanket, began to search the text with the hairpin till she reached the word. Met him what? He asked. Here, she said. What does that mean? He leaned downward and read near her polished thumbnail. Metempsychosis. Yes. Who's he and when he's at home? Metempsychosis, he said, frowning. It's Greek, from the Greek. That means the transmigration of souls. Oh, rocks, she said. Tell us in plain words. He smiled, glancing askance at her mocking eye. The same young eyes, the first night after the charades, Dolphin's Barn. He turned over the smudged pages. Ruby, the pride of the ring. Hello. Illustration. Fierce Italian with carriage whip. Must be Ruby Pride of the on the floor naked. Sheet kindly lent. The monster, Maffei, desisted and flung his victims from him with an oath. Cruelty behind it all. Doped animals. Trapeze at Hengler's. Had to look the other way. Mob gaping. Break your neck and we'll break our sides. Families of them. Bone them young so they metempsychosis. That we live after death, our souls. That a man's soul after he dies. Dignam soul. Did you finish it? He asked. Yes, she said. There's nothing smutty in it. Is she in love with the first fellow all the time? Never read it. Do you want another? Yes. Get another of Paul de Cox. Nice name he has. De Cox. Paul de Cox. She poured more tea into her cup, watching it flow sideways. Must get that Capel Street Library book renewed, or they'll write to Carney, my guarantor. Reincarnation. That's the word. Some people believe, he said, that we can go on living in another body after death, that we lived before. They call it reincarnation. That we all lived before on the earth thousands of years ago or some other planet. They say we have forgotten. Some say they remember their past lives. The sluggish cream wounds curdling spirals through her tea. Better remind her of the word. Metempsychosis. An example would be better. An example. The bath of the nymph over the bed. Given away with the Easter number of photo bits. Splendid masterpiece in art colors. Tea before you put milk in. Not unlike her with her hair down. Slimmer. 3 and 6 I gave for the frame. She said it would look nice over the bed. Naked nymphs. Greece, and for instance all the people that lived then. He turned the pages back. Metempsychosis, he said, is what the ancient Greeks called it. They used to believe you could be changed into an animal or a tree, for instance, what they called nymphs, for example. Her spoon ceased to stir up the sugar. She gazed straight before her, inhaling through her arched nostrils. There is a smell of burn, she said. Did you leave anything on the fire? The kidney, he cried suddenly. He fitted the book roughly into his inner pocket and, stubbing his toes against the broken commode, hurried out towards the smell, stepping hastily down the stairs in flurried stork's legs. Pungent smoke shot up in an angry jet from the side of the pan. By prodding a prong of the fork under the kidney, he detached it and turned its turtle on its back. Only a little burned. He tossed it off the pan onto a plate and let the scanty brown gravy trickle over it. cup of tea now. He sat down, cut and buttered a slice of the loaf. He shore away the burnt flesh and flung it to the cat. Then he put a forkful into his mouth, chewing with discernment the toothsome, pliant meat. Done to a turn, a mouthful of tea. Then he cut away dies of bread, stopped one in the gravy, and put it in his mouth. What was that about some young student and a picnic? He creased out the letter at his side, reading it slowly as he chewed, sopping another die of bread in the gravy and raising it to his mouth. Dearest Popley, thanks ever so much for the lovely birthday present. It suits me splendid. Everyone says I'm quite the belle in my new tam. I got Mummy's lovely box of creams and I am writing. They are lovely. I am getting on swimming in the photo business now. Mr. Coughlin took one of me and Mrs. will send one developed. He did great biz yesterday. Fair day and all the beef to the heels were in. We're going to Lough Owl on Monday with a few friends to make a scrap picnic. Give my love to Mummy and to yourself a big kiss and thanks. I hear them at the piano downstairs. There is to be a concert in the Greville Arms on Saturday. There is a young student comes here some evenings named Bannon. His cousins or something are big swells. He sings Boylan's. I was on the top of writing Blaze's Boylan's song about those seaside girls. Tell him Millie sends my best respects. Must now close with fondest love. Your fond daughter, Millie. P.S. Excuse bad writing. Am in a hurry. Bye-bye.